Good evening. My name is Lydia Velasquez, your host and creator, and this is Paranormal Activity, para for normal people, a podcast that's dedicated to bringing you the truth out of the spiritual realm of our world. Tonight we're going to be talking about residual haunting, about earthbound spirits, and intelligent haunting. I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened and occurred a while back, many years ago. It just so happened that when this occurred, years later, my crew just so happened to be in the establishment. It is said that when you have a graveyard, you're not to remove the bodies from the graveyard. You can't build on top of a graveyard. It becomes holy land. It's not good to have an establishment or a home built on top of where it used to be a resting place for people that become souls. It is said that this particular school was built on a graveyard. Years later, the story goes that they started having activity. Now, I can't mention the school and I can't mention basically where it's at. I can tell you it's in Florida. And I can tell you that two crew members of mine worked in this school. One evening, I get a call because one of the crew members is my daughter. And she says, "Mom, I just saw a spirit in a classroom." I said, "Okay. Why do you see spirits in this classroom?" And she told me the story of how she heard that the school was built on top of a graveyard and that the school was haunted. There are several buildings in this school, but the one particular building that she always seemed to get the most activity in was the video that I'm going to show you tonight. My daughter walked into this classroom one time, and she worked in this school for a while by herself. Later on, another crew member of mine started working with her, which is a sister of hers. They told me that the classrooms were always locked. They were the only ones in the building. There was no music room. They didn't have kind of music for children that most classes have or schools have. It was basically elementary school, from what I understand. The offices had motion detectors. So if you walked into the office, the light would turn on automatically. If you walked out and you stayed out of that office for a few minutes, the light would turn off. One night, they were cleaning the office and they walked out. My daughter has my gift, so she said she felt like turning around. When she turned around, the light turned off. As she was looking towards the office, it turned back on again, as if someone walked in there. She went to check. She opened up the office door, and there was no one there. Another night, she was cleaning a classroom and walked in and saw a man sitting at the desk. He smiled at her. He was a Caucasian man. And when he smiled at her, she got scared. She thought somebody was in the building itself and she was working there by herself. She said she asked him what he was doing there. And the minute that she asked him what he was doing there, he disappeared on her. Well, to tell you the truth, I've run into situations like that. My daughter's become a warrior just like I am. I don't get scared much. At times it will intrigue me, and there have been times that I had gotten scared when I was younger. Now it's part of my life. So I'm used to it. I'm a chosen one. So I get to experience different things for different reasons. And God has blessed me very much by giving me evidence so that I can bring it to you and create this podcast. In these videos, you're going to see 2 crew members, one in which is my daughter. And they're going to be looking for music that is playing. Now, if you notice the 2 videos, there'll be part 1 and part 2. The videos are going to be more or less playing some music that they can't find. They go from one side to the other, and every time they go to one side, the music plays in the other side. When they go back to see where the music is coming from, it stops and then starts playing on the other side from hall to hall. That isn't quite the impression that made me realize that it was a residual haunting so much. It was the fact that the music, if you listen to it, sounds like from the 1700s. The pianos they used to play back then, they weren't like the ones today. You can tell the difference. So if you have to go over and over again to listen to it, because they're short videos, you'll understand what I'm saying. There's also a picture that is in one of our commercials, and it's circled with a face in it standing in front of a tree. If you look at the commercials, you'll see it. It's a white face, and it's not a complete face. And that was also taken by another crew member in the same property. So there is a lot of activity. There's also a video that you'll be seeing. My daughter stepped out of the room, and when she stepped out to close the door, she saw what she thought was a closet door opening and someone peeking through it. She got scared and she went to call me, and I said, well, go back. I'll be with you on the phone. You'll see her taping and going through the phone to see if the door is still open. And you'll see a shadow standing at that door. When I blew up the picture, you could see the frame of a person, a shadow person, which is another type of entity. Sometimes they come in spirit form, but they come in also shadow form, what we call shadow people. I hope you enjoy these videos because they're realistic. There's nothing phony about them. And they did happen. And I also want to bring up the fact that we look for evidence. We look for places to be investigated. So if you're having any kind of activity and you don't understand it and you don't know what to do, please do get in touch with us. You can contact us through this podcast, and we'll definitely come and see what help you need. Now, I'll leave you to my army of angels, my crew, and to the videos. And I hope you enjoy them. These videos are from Florida. I'm not going to tell you where, because like I said, we didn't get a chance to go into the buildings and get permission. But my crew did work in there, so they caught this. And I believe that when you catch something, it's special. In the meantime, my friends, enjoy the videos. Tell me what you think. And if you need to get in touch with us for any reason whatsoever, there's a dialogue and a description of what we do. We do many things. We explore many places. And there's much more yet to come. In the meantime, may the divine hold you close and the universe give you what you need. Blessings and good night.